I'm in my late 30s, married, and mom to 2 kids who keep me running from dawn until I collapse into bed at night. My husband and I both work full-time, him in IT, me in finance. We're not flashy, but we've done well enough that we don't have to stress about bills. Except I've been carrying one bill that isn't mine for a long, long time. My parents' mortgage. Years ago, when they were on the verge of losing the house, I quietly stepped in and started making the payments. No ultimatums, no, you owe me one. Just, I'll take care of it. And I kept my word. Month after month, I made sure their roof stayed over their heads. At first, it felt good, like I was finally repaying everything they sacrificed for me growing up. But after the first couple years, it became less about generosity and more about obligation. I didn't just save their house, I became their safety net. They got used to it. They never offered to cut back expenses, never even hinted at gratitude beyond a half-hearted thanks. Meanwhile, my husband gritted his teeth. He didn't want me doing it at all. His one condition, the only way he agreed to it, was that I draw a line in the sand. Mortgage only. No handouts. No surprise bills. No, can you help us with groceries? Sneaking onto our bank statement. Just the house? Nothing else. And I held that line. I swallowed my pride, my frustration, and the growing knot in my stomach every time I logged into my banking app to send off another payment for people who treated me less like a daughter and more like their personal ATM. That's where things stood. I paid, they coasted, my husband tolerated it, and I pretended the resentment wasn't eating at me until the day I needed something from them. A few months ago, my husband and I were in a pinch. Work had dropped a last-minute curveball on me, and my husband was stuck at an on-site project. No backup childcare, no sitter available, no friendly neighbor to bribe with pizza money. So I did the thing I rarely do. I asked my parents for help. Could you watch the kids for just a few hours? I'll pick them up as soon as I'm off. The silence on the phone dragged for a beat too long. Then my mom sighed. Jamie, we're tired. We don't babysit anymore. It hit like a slap. I almost laughed because, seriously, I've been paying their mortgage for years. I've propped up their entire lifestyle, but the one time I need a little support, it's suddenly against their new life policy? I swallowed it down. Fine. Whatever. I scrambled, moved meetings around, and took the hit professionally. But then, this is the part that broke me. 2 weeks later, I found out my sister Amanda had asked them to watch her kids. And not only did they say yes, they practically bragged about it. My dad was posting Facebook pictures of grandparent bonding time like it was some Hallmark movie. I lost it. I called them out directly. I asked why they couldn't lift a finger for me when I've been carrying them for years, but Amanda gets the royal treatment. My mom's answer? Don't make trouble, Jamie. You're always so dramatic. That was it. That was the whole explanation. Don't cause trouble. Don't point out the hypocrisy. Shut up and keep paying the bills like a good little daughter. The resentment that had been simmering for years finally boiled over. I hung up the phone shaking, and for the first time I thought, what if I just stop paying? What if I stop playing the doormat they all count on me to be? And that thought didn't leave me. It grew sharper every time I saw another smug post about family. Every time Amanda texted me like nothing was wrong. Every time my parents treated me like an afterthought while cashing in on my silence. That's when the idea of revenge stopped being a fleeting fantasy and started looking like my only option for peace. The next mortgage due date came, and for the first time in years, I didn't make the payment. I sat there at my laptop, hands trembling a little, the login screen taunting me. My entire adult life, I'd been the fixer, the responsible one, the one who sacrificed. Stopping wasn't just a financial move, it felt like unhooking myself from decades of programming. Alex sat across from me, arms folded, watching me war with myself. He'd been patient for years, even though he hated every dollar we sent their way. You don't owe them this, he said quietly. If you're ready to stop, then stop. Just make sure you won't regret it. I thought about the babysitting incident, about the Facebook photos, about being told to stop causing trouble. My stomach settled into something hard and steady. I won't, I said. I closed the tab without paying. Then I opened my phone, scrolled through my contacts, and hit block on both of my parents' numbers. Then Amanda's. Then my dad's Facebook, my mom's Messenger. I scrubbed them out of my phone like bad data. The silence afterward was almost peaceful. Of course, it didn't last long. The first missed payment triggered calls, then angry texts, which I never saw because I was already gone from their digital orbit. Amanda tried to break through on WhatsApp, then email. Nothing. I was done. Alex looked nervous at first. He kept asking if I was sure, if this was really the line I wanted to draw. But the more days passed without me bending, the calmer I became. The weight was lifting. For the first time in my life, I wasn't chained to their expectations. They would have to face their own mortgage, their own reality, their own hypocrisy. And the best part? They couldn't scream at me, couldn't guilt trip me, couldn't twist my words. Because I'd cut the wires. I'd finally, completely unplugged. I didn't expect my parents to go quietly, but I underestimated just how loud they'd get. Within a week, the whispers had gone full megaphone. Facebook posts. Long, teary paragraphs about how their ungrateful daughter had abandoned them after everything they'd done for me. My sister Amanda chimed in with her own flavor of venom. That I'd let money change me, that I thought I was too good for family now. And the comments. Oh, the comments. Distant cousins I hadn't seen in years suddenly had hot takes about my character. Old neighbors weighed in about how kids today just don't respect their parents. People I barely knew, but who apparently had been watching, all nodding along in chorus about how selfish I was. Selfish, greedy, spoiled. That's how they painted me. The part that stung wasn't the strangers. It was the familiar faces. Family friends I grew up calling aunt and uncle piling on with shame on you and family is everything. Not a single one of them knew I'd been single-handedly keeping my parents in their house for years. Not one of them cared. I didn't respond. I didn't defend myself. I just watched. And that's when the tide shifted in the smallest, strangest way. A local minister, someone my parents had leaned on for credibility for years, commented, "He didn't take my side. He didn't take theirs. He just wrote," open quote, "I will only say this. In my experience, Jamie has always been generous, humble, and unassuming despite her success. It is dangerous to assume we know the full story of another family. I would advise caution before anyone casts stones." Close quote. It was like someone had dropped a stone into a glass lake. The comments went quiet for a while. A few brave souls even unliked my parents' posts. It wasn't a vindication. It wasn't fireworks or applause. But it was enough. Enough to remind me that I didn't need to scream my story into the void for it to matter. Enough to know that the people who really knew me already understood the truth. And my parents? They were livid. They doubled down, raging harder on social media about betrayal and being disrespected. But the louder they got, the more desperate it looked. The more people started wondering if maybe, just maybe, they weren't telling the whole truth. I didn't gloat, I didn't post, I didn't even unblock them. Because the sweetest revenge wasn't just cutting off the money. It was watching them unravel when the narrative stopped going their way. And for once, I wasn't the one cleaning up their mess.